Okay, everybody, this is part 3 of our door repair series. We're going to tackle replacing the lever handle. The nice thing about the lever handle is that if you're coming in with your hands full, you can get it with your elbow, maybe your knee. Gives you a little bit easier access. The problem with this one is it's been real loose and it's kind of wearing out. That is the set screw that keeps the handle in place. So it takes a small Allen wrench. You have to loosen that set screw, and that enables you to pull the handle off. That Allen wrench that I used happened to be in the kit that came with the new handle because they're both quick set, so it worked for both of them. Now we can take a look at the latch, and we're going to pull these screws that hold the latch in place. And you can see that the plate on this latch is square, so I've got square mortises in the door. Unfortunately, the replacement that I got for this, I couldn't find one with a square faceplate. A lot of times they sell them with a replacement that you can swap out, and this didn't have it. So I was kind of stuck with what I could find. But it's okay, it'll still function fine, and you'll only see it when the door is open. So we get that latch removed, but you can't pull the latch out until you pull the two halves of the door apart. And with this one, there is an escutcheon plate that covers the two screws that hold the two halves of the door together. And this escutcheon plate is really just, you're supposed to twist it a little bit counterclockwise, and then it pops off. It's got a little dimple you can see right where I'm hitting it there. And this one is just stuck into the paint because it's been tightened down and used so much that I think just the paint is really holding it in place. So I've just been tapping on it gently. I'm trying not to scratch the door up, but I'm trying to just give it a little bit of, get a little movement. It'll wiggle around a little bit, but I can't get it to pop loose. So sometimes using this 5-in-1 can just help with a stubborn plate like this. There we go. I got it. Don't worry. I got it. So we're going to pull these two machine screws out. You can use an impact driver for this. A lot of times when I'm working on doors, I use a hand screwdriver. It helps me to get a little better feel for the screws. I can avoid stripping out bolt holes or stripping out the holes in the wood if I get a little bit better feel. Now you can see that shaft goes all the way through, and that's what holds the latch in the door. So you have to take that out first. Now you can pull the latch out. And once it's out, here's our new hardware. Hey, there's the keyhole. And there's the locking knob. You'll want to put the locking knob on the inside of the door if you want to keep people out. So we'll take the two halves apart. And you'll have to slide the latch in first. You can see there's that round plate. I wish I could change it out. Sometimes they have a replacement plate like this one, and you can just swap the two out. But this one is permanently attached. There's no way to change that without a lot of hassle, so I'm going to leave it for now. Now I want to put the handle through the latch. And what I've discovered here is that I have you can see that's where the shaft goes through that latch, but my door is drilled for a 2 3/4 inch back set, it's called. That's the distance from the edge of the door to the center of the hole. Now most of these will come with two settings. And if you look at the side here, it'll say 2 3/8 and 2 3/4. There's 2 3/4. And then there's a little pin here that will let you, it's spring loaded. So if you pull the pin down, and slide it over. You can make that latch longer. And now it's set for a 2 3/4 inch back set, which is what my door is drilled for. Now that hole is in the center of the hole in the door. Make sure the sloped part of the latch is towards the jamb. And you may have to push the strike in just a little bit to get that handle to go through. And you can see that there are some pins on that handle that will index into the latch. That keeps everything from twisting. And now we take the second part of the handle, and you can see how that post fits in there. And there's a small post coming off of the locking knob that has to go down the center of that shaft that comes through from the other handle. Once you get those aligned, you can take the bolts included in the kit, and these are machine screws. You can see the fine threads and they're very regular. That means that that's going into a tapped hole in the other side. That's how you know that that's not a wood screw. It also has that dull tip on it. I'll explain that dull tip in a second. So there are two of these. Oh, look at that. It went right in there. So you can see the tip on that is smooth. That it has no threads on it, so it allows the tip to find the hole first and kind of self-align. What that does is prevent you from stripping out those threads. And I know a lot of people will just run this in with an impact driver. That's fine. It's everybody's preference. This is just how I happen to do it. But we get that set, and I try not to tighten them down too much initially. That allows me to move it around, get it seated where I'd like it to be, and then I can snug down the screws a little bit better once I like the position of it. Tighten up that one. And you can see that escutcheon plate doesn't cover the holes on the inside, so that's a little bit of a difference with this handle. Now this handle's got the same hole in the side. It's got the same set screw that's going to keep that handle in place. So we use that hex wrench again, or that Allen wrench. Now some of these, depending on the manufacturer, some of them will unscrew to hold this on. This one is one that turns, it's a traditional right-handed thread, so it turns clockwise. So if you tighten this like you would a normal screw, and then you may have to switch and use the short end of the Allen wrench will help you get a little bit better leverage, so you can tighten that down better. Now that handle won't come off. Now we're going to add the screws that hold the latch plate in place. These are really easy to strip out, especially once you've put screws in them before in those holes and then removed them and put them back in. That's another reason to use the hand screwdriver. And now you can see the latch goes all the way behind the plate. The one that I changed, it wasn't going all the way in, so it was hanging up when I tried to open the door. So that was part of the reason that prompted this replacement. Now you can see the mark where that goes in. And you can see how solidly that door latches now. When I close it, it has a good thump to it. It doesn't move around. And if you're having trouble lining up the strike in the strike plate, you can try this trick where you put some tape on the bottom and try to be neat about it and have it stick out, and that'll give you something to line up with. So as you close the door, you can see if it's clearing. And in this case, it was clearing just fine, closing well. And let's take a look at the inside of the door. And this is the handle in place. You can see the weather stripping is the right color. It's closing nicely. It closes nice and solid. It's not wiggling around. And as we take a look around, you can see besides the fact that I need to paint this door desperately, you can see the weather stripping is sitting nice and tightly. The gap that was there before is closed up. It's not perfect, but it's far better than it was. And you can see that weather stripping overlaps pretty neatly in the corner there. That will help keep your air seal down if you can cut that angle so it tucks over there nicely. And that's our door. So this latch has smart key technology. So you can take the new key that came with the door, put it in, turn it 90 degrees. Now you insert the little smart key tool, pull that and the key back out, take the key from your old lock that you want it to match, put it in, turn it 180 degrees, turn it back 90, and now the door handle is rekeyed to your old lock, which is a pretty handy feature. This is actually the first time I've run across it, and pretty satisfied so far. Thanks for watching this 3-part series about door repair. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any more questions about it, please put them down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you can join us next time. Thanks.